I knew it, I went and blew it and we were through. She said goodbye, I didn't know why, and then I met you. It didn't make sense in the moment that all my earlier attempts in love were all in vain. Then you told me your name and suddenly it all came together. The last piece of my puzzle was all that remained, and now we're changing the game. Sunrise in a little salt water. How could I know I'd never be the same? How my whole life would change when you told me your name. You caught my eye, I thought you were out of my league. Your pretty face, your pretty smile was all I could see. It didn't make sense in the moment that every time that I looked, you were looking at me. Then I knew right where I wanted to be, and suddenly it all came together. The last piece of my puzzle was all that remained, and now we're changing the game. A sunrise and a little salt water. How could I know I'd never be the same? Now my whole life would change when you told me your name. My heart was never meant for another. It took a while, but now it's plain to see. We didn't even have to look for each other. We just were where we happened to be. Suddenly it all came together. The last piece of my puzzle was all that remained. Now we're changing the game. Sunrise and a little salt water. How could I know I'd never be the same? Yeah. When you told me your name.
You're listening to the Jams and Coffee Morning Show with your host, Brad Brock.
Yes, good morning, Jammers, and welcome The Jams and Coffee Morning Show. I am your host, Brad Brock. And it's a beautiful Tuesday out there here on the Treasure Coast of Florida at any rate. Quite lovely outside. Hope you enjoyed your Monday. A nice start to the week for you. And here we are. Can't say it's the start of the week anymore. We're into it now on a Tuesday, February 7th, 2023, if you can believe that. But it is good to be here with you this morning. Thank you so much for tuning in with me over on YouTube, if you're watching my beautiful face, or on Facebook, or if you're listening in on our partner radio station, Shore Life Radio, our companion radio station, JNC Radio. Wherever you're tuning in, certainly hope that you make your way over to our YouTube channel and smash our subscribe button and hit the little bell for notifications whenever we go live here, whether it's this morning show or the Jams and Cocktails podcast on Wednesday nights, or any other intermediate things that we do. Speaking of being beautiful, it is going to be a beautiful day here on the Treasure Coast. So if you're on the Treasure Coast or in the surrounding areas, it's going to be mostly sunny and a little windy this Tuesday. Afternoon highs are going to top out in the mid to upper 70s with east winds gusting up to 25 miles per hour, so be careful driving out there. It's going to get warmer by Wednesday, with highs in the low 80s, and then lasted through Friday. Breezy easterly winds are expected through midweek, along with mainly dry patterns up through Thursday. A slight chance for isolated showers are in the forecast on Friday, before the next front arrives early on Saturday morning. And then a cool down comes in for the weekend behind that front starting on Saturday. Front's going to produce scattered showers for the early part of Saturday as it moves through the area. And temperatures will dip into the low 70s for Saturday's highs in the Palm Beaches and the upper 60s for the Treasure Coast. Temperatures tumble to a chilly 50s and even 40s by Sunday morning. Highs are going to be in the low 70s once again for Sunday. So, cool start to Sunday, but it'll warm up quite nicely. We also have Philip's not-so-irrelevant weather report, now that we're being broadcast thanks to Shore Life Radio to all around the world. So here is Philip lives up in Tennessee, so here's his weather report. Much warmer beginning to their day up there. The temperatures in the mid to upper 40s. Today's highs, he said, are going to get to the mid 60s. Clouds are building as the day goes on, and the winds pick up into the evening hours. He said that will be ahead of a rain system coming into the state for them tomorrow up in Tennessee. Temperatures are still above average throughout the incoming rainy weather. And he said, we'll take that. Have a good day. You too, Philip. Thanks for that report. And if you want me to share the weather wherever you are, send us an email at jamsandcocktails@gmail.com. All right. We only have a few national days here for you, but I'm going to give it to you in case you're looking for a reason to celebrate. Here's one for all the science nerds out there, including myself. It's National Periodic Table Day. An important piece of science. February 7th, the National Periodic Table Day recognizes the publication of the first table of the elements. We also look at how the periodic table has changed through the years. The periodic table has a long history. It and the discovery of elements impacted science in many ways. Ancient man only knew of a few elements. However, by the 1st century A.D., mankind knew about the elements of gold, silver, copper, iron, lead, tin, mercury, sulfur, and carbon. Over time, we added arsenic, antimony, ooh, fun word, phosphorus, and zinc to our discoveries. By 1809, there were 47 discovered elements, and it was time to organize. That's right. And Johann de Bruyner made one of the earliest attempts to do that. He organized the elements in 1817 into groups of 3 or triads based on similar qualities. And then comes old John Newlands. February 7th, 1863, English chemist John Newlands published one of the first table of elements. Newlands divided the known 56 elements into 11 groups based on the law of octaves. This table suggested that any one element will have similar properties to elements 8 places before and behind it. Sounds like a chess game, doesn't it? arranging the elements according to increasing atomic weight. Newlands was one of the first scientists to detect a pattern to the properties of elements. As a result, his table left room for new discoveries. It even predicted future discoveries would complete the table. In fact, Newlands correctly predicted the discovery of germanium. Well, there you go. National Periodic Table Day. Sometimes perhaps nonsense to us laymen's during the regular course of our lives, but to scientists and those that are constantly innovating the way that we live, very important piece of work there. On to something that's a little bit closer to my heart, near and dear to me. It's National Fettuccine Alfredo Day. Delicious. On February 7th, the National Fettuccine Alfredo Day celebrates one of the world's favorite ways to enjoy a plate of fettuccine. Fettuccine Alfredo enjoys a history as rich as its flavor. Created in 1908, fettuccine was made out of love and concern by an Italian restaurateur. Alfredo Di Lileo's concern for his pregnant wife's lack of appetite caused him to put his talents to work. The birth of their first son depended on it. His recipe of noodles, cheese, and butter not only encouraged her to eat, but she also inspired him to put it on the menu, too. Since then, the century-old dish has been satisfying pasta lovers around the world ever since. And not only that, but fettuccine Alfredo lovers experiment with the dish in several ways. Add shrimp, mushrooms, or spinach. The meal also pairs well with other vegetables and proteins as well. We cut the riches with a white wine and finish with a fruit dessert. There you go. I do love a good fettuccine Alfredo. Excellent. Blackened chicken. Oh, my God. You guys, I'm getting hungry already. Getting hungry already. And here's a special one. And I'll pickle back off of it once we get through it. It's National Send a Card to a Friend Day. National Send a Card to a Friend Day on February 7th reminds us to send a friendly cheer through the mail. We do that by sending a note or a message on a card to the friends that we hold dear. Throughout the year, we often think about our friends. We wonder how they are, miss them, remember fond memories of times shared. So, sending a card to someone for a variety of reasons dates back to ancient times. The Chinese would send elegantly designed messages, as well as the Egyptians, though on different types of paper. During the Renaissance, greeting cards gained popularity for specific holidays and events. Victorian times increased the use of the greeting card for Valentine's Day, Christmas, birthdays, and more. While our more digital era may turn away from the flowery language of greeting cards, a surprising 80% of adults still purchase them. While they may only make these purchases for special occasions and are more likely to include them with a gift when they're attending an event, they are purchasing. And that said, retailers continue to reduce their footprint in the greeting card aisle, unfortunately. And all the facts would add up to a faster fading, just thinking of you type of card. However, nice it is to receive a sweet text. Wouldn't it be less of a chore to go to the mailbox if occasionally you found a note card from a friend? And my pickleback off of this is I love receiving handwritten notes and cards and things like that. I consider myself old school in certain ways, and I think it's very nice to have a signed card, certainly in the mail. It's wonderful. Jordan, my lovely fiance Jordan, her grandmother and mother send handwritten letters all the time, and it's a joy to get them in the mail. And it's wonderful that they include my name in them. I love them. Very, very nice. It is heartwarming to get handwritten notes in the mail. So if you want to cheer up a friend, send them a handwritten note. Today's the day. And that's it. That's your national days. In case I missed one, be sure to send me a message. But we believe here at JNC that every day is a day to celebrate. Today's no exception. I'll give you a few reasons if we can. And there you have it. All right. We got a few stories today, some that really got me riled up. We'll talk about that. I had a lovely conversation with Jordan this morning just before she went off to work, and I've got some thoughts on it. We're going to share that. We got some entertainment news coming up, some good deeds by good people, and then, of course, our celebrity birthdays all coming up here on JNC in the morning. We're going to get a little musical break in here for you to kick off your morning. This one is by Bethany Lynn, our guest on the Jams and Cocktails podcast tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. So you're not going to want to miss it. She's here from Nashville to play a few shows and to hang out with us and tell us all her stories. This is from her. This is called You Knocked Her Up. You're listening to JNC in the morning. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Thought that you were interested, you were calling all the time, picking me up and taking me out and buying me glasses of wine. You told me I wasn't the only girl, that you were nice too, and I found out the easy way that what you said was true. Once again get involved. You hadn't even gotten your divorce completely resolved. You told me you still weren't over her, and I was feeling down until I saw the picture of her ultrasound.
That's Bethany Lynn with You Knocked Her Up. Hilarious song. Based on a true story. Maybe we'll get her to reiterate that story when she's on the show tomorrow night. Thank you again for joining me this morning. We're going to get into the news. We got some... First story, I'm going to kick it off. I'm going to dive right in. I'd like your opinions on it. And perhaps some of you that don't live in this area can give me some insight as well, because that was kind of the conversation I had with Jordan on this. I guess before I get into that, I'll get into the story. So this headline read this morning, fewer Treasure Coast students are buying meals after Congress cuts federal school meal program. There's the headline. Here's the story. Fewer students are buying school meals at school now that the federal government stopped paying for them. School districts encourage families to apply for federal assistance. and they provide alternative meals for students who show up without a lunch. But that adds cost to an already stressed food service program dealing with increased food prices and expenses. In St. Lucie County, about 65% of students are buying school meals, an 11% drop from the 76% who bought meals last school year. Martin County Schools saw a 10% drop in participation from 70% in the 2021 to 2022 school year to about 60% this school year. At 47%, Indian River County Schools had a small decrease from the 50% who bought meals in 2021 and 2022. According to Laura Holmdahl, the Director of Food and Nutrition Services for Martin County, said the drop is attributable to people not having enough money to pay for the meal. Congress in June axed the program that paid for all students to get free breakfast and lunch, a program that began at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. Students now must qualify for free or reduced price meals based on their family's income. A family of four, for example, can earn no more than $36,000 annually to qualify. Holmdale said it seems like people are having a hard time. It's really hard, especially if you've got multiple children. 5 Martin County schools, J.D. Parker and Indiantown Middle, Pinewood, and Warfield Elementary, Spectrum, and Willoughby Learning Center continue to offer free meals to all students because of the economic makeup of their student bodies. Martin County provides free meals to students who qualify for a reduced price meal as well because those families were struggling to pay the 40 cents for each meal, according to Holmdale. Yet students who leave those schools often fail to fill out free meal applications at their new schools. Districts have varying rules for how much lunch debt students can accumulate. In Indian River County, students can charge up to $20. It's $10 in St. Lucie County. In Martin County, elementary students can charge meals for 2 days, while middle school and high school students can charge meals only for 1 day at a time. Cafeteria managers are told to use their judgment, however, in allowing students to charge more. Even students who reach their charging limit won't go hungry. Districts offer alternative meals such as turkey and cheese sandwiches or a yogurt and cheese stick plate to make sure that everyone eats. Tracy Simonton, Director of Food and Nutrition Services in Indian River County, said, "We will never turn a child away. Even when they owe money, we continue to feed them." Food managers usually remind a child and notify their parents when their accounts get low or when they're running in the red, Simonton said. Martin County even has a lunch ferry fund that erases student debt at the end of each year and pays for students who don't qualify for free meals but have extenuating circumstances, such as a parent with medical issues, so on and so forth. Are you guys ready? Because here it comes. This story, the fact that it had to be written is, to me, absolutely mind-blowing. Now, I get it. I understand that the money's going to come from somewhere. You could throw that argument at me all day. I don't care. There's no reason on earth that a child that goes to public school and says, I don't have money for lunch, doesn't eat. Now, they're saying here in this story that that doesn't happen in our Tri-County area, at the very least, here on our Treasure Coast, that the schools figure it out, and the kids eat. I will say from experience, I didn't necessarily grow up lavishly. I was a part of the reduced meal program at my school, and sometimes we didn't have that. Never. I don't remember a single time during my elementary school, middle school, whenever days that I said, I don't have any money. And they were like, get out of here, you. Always had something to eat, whether it was a peanut butter sandwich. We didn't even get turkey and cheese. It was like a peanut butter sandwich or something alternative in case you had an allergy. Something. The fact that this implies the story, and I'm just basing it off the story, right? The story implies that somewhere in America, children go to school, and because they don't have money for lunch, they don't get it. To me, the idea of that is completely preposterous. And the amount of money that is frivolously spent on ridiculous things, including tax dollars, and we can't feed these kids at school. Some of these programs, like the Lunch Fairy program, and allowing the cafeteria workers to use their judgment on whether to let a student overcharge their account, whatever the case is. I think these are all admirable and should be the case. Now, with that being said, Jordan brought something to my attention about school lunches that I didn't realize existed because of, we didn't live that lavishly when I was a kid. But Jordan said growing up, these schools had sandwich stations where they build a sandwich for you and subs and chip bags and all these things that you could purchase. She was like, yeah, sometimes I'd spend $8 to $10 on lunch. Mind blown. Regular lunch in my elementary school, the regular everyday lunch price was $1.50. And of course, I know we're going back a couple of years, just a couple, my elementary school days. But I understand that that's a stretch. Every single day, $1.50 for a family that's struggling to pay rent. I get it. I understand. 40 cents even. I certainly wasn't getting, submarine sandwiches and things like that on my reduced lunch or my free lunch. I forgot my lunch money thing. I get that, but all of that aside. I don't necessarily think that that's what you're going to get if you need food, but I think the turkey and cheese sandwich, primo. Cheese sticks and yogurt, primo. You got to get these kids fed. I'm glad that we're running these programs here on the Treasure Coast, regardless of the federal funding. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of these COVID measures that were put in place are going away. Outside of school lunches, but it's happening. And, left to pick up the slack are the states and the counties within them. And so at least here in our counties, our tri-county area, they're doing their part. They're making sure. I'm sure that there are philanthropists coming in and donating to make sure that this doesn't happen. And I think that's really where the solution lies, is people that are donating to these types of causes. Can't let the kids go hungry, man. That's how crime starts. That's how test scores go down, graduations plummet. It all starts there. You got to feed these kids. So good on the programs here, at least in our area, that are making sure these kids are fed. And I want to hear from you guys. Do you have children? Are you in a situation where your child or you as a child were ever turned away from your school cafeteria for not having money to buy lunch? I want to know. I want to hear the stories. Good, bad, and the ugly. Let me know in the chats and comments if you're watching, or you can email us at jamsandcocktails@gmail.com. If you're listening on Shore Life Radio or JNC Radio, I want to hear these stories. Because I think it's preposterous. I can't, in my utopian ideal mind, believe that a school would ever turn a child away for not having money for lunch. I can't. I can't fathom it. So, but I want to hear the stories if they exist. And I'll get down off of my soapbox and move on to the next story there. And this one perfectly notches in with this story and my thoughts on it. Because who doesn't want to win the Powerball and do good? Do good with it. Well, somebody did. And it wasn't me. It wasn't me, you guys. But there was a winning ticket for the $747 million Powerball jackpot. So if you're listening out in Washington State, holler at your boy. Powerball rolled over this weekend, cracked the top 5 jackpots for the lottery game. And among the 10 highest jackpots for any lottery before a winning ticket was drawn just last night. After no one matched all 5 numbers plus the Powerball on Saturday, the estimated jackpot grew to $747 million. That's a cash value of $403.1 million. Not too shabby. And that's the 5th highest Powerball jackpot ever. But there was one single winner drawn in Washington. Good for you. I'm not mad. I'm just waiting for my turn. Mark my words, no kid's going to go hungry on my watch in St. Lucie County if I won the Powerball. But I digress. The truth is, kids are not going hungry in St. Lucie County, at school anyway. They're doing their job and making sure these kids are fed. And there are several programs, at least here I know of, where you can go and food banks and such, you can go and get food all the time. I believe Palm Beach State College has a program they call the something pantry, the food pantry, and it's basically a store, quote unquote, where you can go and, you know, if you need supplies, hygiene supplies, food, they got you. I think that's a wonderful program too. Hunger, man, it's the biggest problem on earth, and shouldn't be, at least here in this country. Utopian thinking. I know. But yeah, if we could throw around $747 million to a schmuck that bought a piece of paper for $2, I think we could do better. Not to say I wouldn't want to be that schmuck. I am a schmuck. We all know it. Are you guys ready for some crazy news? Not by any means. This is not making light of this particular situation. But this story is so crazy. And the fact that it's happened another time in this article is mind-blowing to me. This is crazy news, and I'm going to tell you about it. You guys hear this story? An 82-year-old woman was found alive at a New York funeral home after she was pronounced dead hours earlier. That's a crazy mistake. Here's the story. An 82-year-old woman who'd been pronounced dead at a nursing home on Long Island, New York, was found to be alive nearly 3 hours later at a funeral home, authorities said, spurring investigations, obviously, by police and health officials alike. The woman was pronounced dead Saturday at Water's Edge Rehab and Nursing Center in Port Jefferson at 11:15 a.m., Suffolk County Police said in a statement. After being taken to the O.B. Davis Funeral Home in nearby Miller Place at 1:30 p.m., she was found breathing at 2:09 p.m. The woman, whom authorities have not identified publicly, was taken to a hospital, thank goodness, after she was found alive. CNN, which is where I scalped this story from, was unable to obtain an update on the woman's condition, and police did not provide further details on the incident. Suffolk County Police and the New York State Department of Health are investigating the case. The Health Department cannot comment further because the probe is still underway. The incident has been referred to the New York State Attorney General's office. The Attorney General's office said in a statement, this is an awful situation that caused unnecessary trauma for the impacted resident and her loved ones. In a statement, the funeral home said, out of respect for the privacy and confidentiality of the families we are honored to serve, we are not in a position to comment further on this matter. So what I'm getting from this is people ain't talking. They're not talking. A similar incident was reported recently in Iowa, where officials said a 66-year-old woman was found breathing inside a body bag after she was pronounced dead. Can you think of anything more terrifying in your whole life than, like, waking up in a body bag? Or, you know, the stories of people being buried alive? It is truly unnerving to think that that's possible. But, you know, people with incredibly low blood pressure, you know, their breathing slows. It's not I'm by no means a medical professional, so this is just me talking. But I could see where you might be able to mistake this. And if it happens, I wouldn't say it regularly, but clearly not the only incident. It seems completely plausible. But wow, how terrifying. How terrifying for the person working at the funeral home to find this. I couldn't even imagine. You know, you hear crazy stories about, you know, bodies, without getting too gruesome, first thing in the morning. You know, bodies do weird things when they are no longer alive. We'll just leave it at that. Bodies do weird stuff. I have some friends that work at funeral homes, and I have heard some wild stories over a good scotch. Voodoo stuff going on. But what's worse than that is finding somebody that is clearly still alive. I'm glad that they found her in the nick of time and that she was sent to the hospital to recover. Wow. Traumatizing for the family, too. Yay. All right. Woo. We'll get into some entertainment news now. Here you go, Philip. You can send this one along to Pam. The Grammys every year have a charity auction. This year was no exception. And 2 guitars individually signed by former couple Taylor Swift and Harry Styles brought in the big bucks. The annual Music Cares charity relief auction. We talked about this guitar actually a couple of weeks ago that this was happening, and now we got the number for it. We've seen what it went for. Of course, the Music Cares charity relief auction is a Grammy Week event that raises money for programs supporting the health and welfare of the music community, which I have friends that have been directly affected positively by this charity. So I think what they do is amazing. It's not just helping huge artists, but, you know, local artists as well that are struggling. They have received aid from this charity. So this money goes into all of that. So I think it's a very good cause, and I'll always talk about it. And I digress. A 2020 Epiphone acoustic guitar with custom graphics artwork from Taylor's album Evermore, signed by her, sold for $25,000. 5 times, of course, its original estimate that we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Meanwhile, a Fender Stratocaster electric guitar signed by Harry and inscribed with Always Love didn't quite hit that $25,000 mark, but went for $19,200. And I think that's just wonderful. It's a wonderful charity. It really is. I hope that you guys take a peek at it. Some of you out there listening on Shore Life Radio, a big part of the trop rock music scene. I know artists in that genre that have been helped by this charity as well. So very, very cool charity. Very cool that artists are helping artists by doing things like this. And that's a good grab for the Grammy Week auction. In addition, a suit that Cher wore during Gay and Lesbian Mardi Gras in Sydney, Australia back in 2018. They have their own Mardi Gras. It's awesome. That sold for $10,000. An outfit worn by BTS member J-Hope during his solo album photo shoot brought in $21,875, 10 times its original estimate. Good for them. A pair of Elton John's Louis Vuitton boots went for $3,400. While a signed outfit Olivia Rodrigo wore on stage at the Glastonbury Music Festival brought in $10,000. An outfit Katy Perry wore in 2019 for a FIFA performance sold for $7,600, while a signed copy of her Teenage Dream album went for $1,280. The biggest winner, though, at the auction was a pair of Nike Air Max sneakers worn by Eminem, which were signed Shady, and they sold for a whopping $40,625. And that's 20 times the original estimate for those pairs of sneakers. all of this goes towards the Music Cares charity relief auction, or the charity itself. And I think it's wonderful. So thank you to all of those artists that donated these things and signed them. Artists helping artists. What more can you ask for? Really, really great stuff. But artists helping everybody is even better. And that leads me to the next story here. Ed Sheeran. We kind of talked about this last week, perhaps. His little feud with the New Zealand chocolate maker, Whittaker's Chocolates. Apparently, back in 2015, Ed dissed the quality of New Zealand's chocolate, which he apologized for when touring the country last week. Whittaker's Chocolate, which is based in the country, extended an olive branch by offering Ed a candy bar with a picture of his face on it. And, of course, Ed accepted it. Wonderful. Well, apparently these two people or entities, Ed Sheeran and Whittaker's Chocolate, are going to work together on a charitable venture. He took to Instagram, his Instagram story to show off his Ed block, which apparently was delivered to him personally by the chocolate company. He then joked, "I love the chocolate bar. Not sure on the picture, let's be honest. I wish I had a photograph of it." He asked the company to change the photo they used of him on the chocolate, and hilariously offered an alternative shot of him from a less flattering angle. And he said, "This pic is better." It appears Ed and Whittaker's are now pooling their energy to help those affected by the flooding in Auckland, New Zealand. The company wrote to Ed, "Shall we make some blocks for the Auckland flood relief?" The singer thought it was a splendid idea. He told Whittaker's, "We'll be in touch." So Auckland has received an unprecedented amount of rain, which is going on all over the place in certain areas. California, another place, getting lots of rain or was getting lots of rain. It triggered a state of emergency following a significant flooding and dangerous river conditions. So they're putting their powers together to help all the people affected by that flood. In other news, Ed recently performed in the nation's capital of Wellington and welcomed a young child named Pippa on stage. He shared a clip to Instagram of him welcoming Pippa and singing with her after asking the crowd to find someone who knew all the words of a certain song. You can check all that out on Instagram. Ed's pretty active on his Instagram, so. And good on him. I love stories like this. Anybody got an extra $42 million laying around? Because if you do, you could be the new owner of a Bel Air mansion, once occupied by Jennifer Lopez. She appears to be moving out of her luxurious mansion in Bel Air because it just hit the market for $42 million. Dirt reports J-Lo initially purchased the place for about $28 million back in 2016 from actress Celia Ward. The outlet is the details on the singer's lavish digs, which boasts 9 bedrooms, 13 bathrooms across its nearly 13,000 square feet of living space. The home, which was constructed in 1940, is situated on an 8-acre lot. Some of the prime perks include a 100-seat amphitheater, an infinity pool, private lake with a beach, guest cottage, putting green, spa, and gym. There are at least 2 wet bars in the mansion. I'm sold. Put me in, coach. Plenty of fireplaces, a game room, another movie theater, dressing rooms, and more. Reports suggested that Jennifer and husband Ben Affleck originally planned on renovating the plush mansion after their wedding, but now they're living out of a rental in Beverly Hills because they're apparently hunting for a different home. The couple's also parting ways with their estate in Georgia, which offers 87 acres for just a cool $8.9 million. Other properties in their portfolio include a mansion in the Hamptons and a cottage in Encino, California, as well as a penthouse in New York City. Lots of places for them to hang out. 2 wet bars. Let me get my checkbook out. 42 mil. Let's make it 43 for good measure. Let's do it. Bel Air. Cool place to live, if you can afford it. All right. That's it. That does it for our news. I thought it was a nice mix of news today. I try to make sure we put in some uplifting with some of the negative, and even the lunch story, which I ranted on. The article, I feel like it was a little misleading. The headline was a little misleading because it seems like the slack left by the federal government is being picked up by the local governments. At least in our area here. Like I said, I can't speak. I would love to hear from other places. I can't speak to that here. All I can tell you is what I see going on around here. And it's that our counties are pulling together and making sure these kids are fed. All right, we're going to do a little music break. When we come back, we've got our celebrity birthdays. I've got a little on this day history for you. When we return, Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Here's one from the Nouveau Honkies. This is Two Doors Down from Paradise. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Tuesday afternoon, the sun was shining down. It didn't stop the rainfall and the steam danced on the ground. I was drinking courage from a flip-top can, and you were somewhere wondering how and where I am. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. 2 doors down from paradise. Wednesday brings the paper and a funny page. The mirror shows the miles and the paper knows the age. Me, I felt better, but I felt worse. A different pen and paper, you just rearrange the verse. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. Are on the stage. Lightning, wolf, and mud, and Texas swing the purple haze. $1 in my bucket. You name a song to play, and listen to me all night long, and don't hear a word I say. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. We the roadies, we the soundmen, we the singers, we the bands. So give us all some credit, give us all a hand. You'll be going home soon to your little hell. We'll be up here on the stage playing with ourselves. I'm still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. 2 doors down, yeah, still alive, I'm alright. I'm getting over last night. Feeling good, yeah, real nice. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. I'm 2 doors down from paradise. 2 doors down.
All right, we're back with Jams and Coffee in the Morning. Evo Honky's there, 2 doors down from Paradise, and a live look at downtown Stewart here on the Treasure Coast. Beautiful day looking like out there, nice and breezy. If you're watching the show on our YouTube channel, I certainly hope that you smash the subscribe button, hit the little bell for notifications. And thank you so much for tuning in, otherwise on Facebook or Shore Life Radio or JNC Radio. I hope that you go and join us on social media, where you can send us messages and all kinds of fun stuff. Let us know how much you love us or how much you hate us. It all goes into the pot. We try to make it better. All right. We're going to get into our celebrity birthdays today. Let's go back over to the list here. As always, I'm going to tell you what age this celebrity's turning, a little bit about them. You can guess in the chats and comments if you're watching, or guess to yourself if you're listening in. Just a fun little game. Get your morning brain juices going. Turning 45 years old today. He first gained recognition for his role as Michael Kelso on Fox's That 70s Show. The success on the series earned him leading roles in such films as Jobs, Spread, The Butterfly Effect, and Dude, Where's My Car? Turning 45 years old today, funny man, Ashton Kutcher. Ashton Kutcher turning 45, if you can believe that. Next up, on our celebrity birthdays, turning 58 years old, the comedian and actor who rose to prominence as a cast member on Saturday Night Live from 1990 to 1993. He's played starring roles in the films Down to Earth, I Think I Love My Wife, Dogma, Grown Ups, and Top 5. He provided the voice for Marty the Zebra in the Madagascar films. Recently was the center of some controversy for last year's Oscars. He received more than just a standing ovation. He received a nice slap in the face by Will Smith. Turning 58 years old today. We're talking about Chris Rock. Chris Rock turning 58 years old. Woo. Yeah, that was what a ploy that was. This one surprised me, sort of surprised me, but not really. Turning 61 years old today. He's a pop country singer and musician. He was named the best-selling solo artist of the century in the U.S. by the RIAA back in 2007. Who's turning 61 years old today? The one and only Garth Brooks. Garth Brooks turning 61. My goodness. Can't believe Garth Brooks growing up was a huge influence on my music and my style. I was the kid that would go to, before being country was cool, I would go to my middle school with cowboy boots and my cowboy hat, my Garth Brooks shirts, and be ridiculed and made fun of. Didn't care. And now everybody is a country person. People that were totally anti-country when I was growing up are now, I'll see them at Zac Brown concerts, and they're dressed in their mossy oak or real tree camo, and I just laugh, and it's like, welcome to the dark side. In these days now, I rock flowered shirts and spend my time tropically impaired. So, how the things change. I do love me some Garth Brooks, though. So happy birthday, Garth Brooks, 61 years old today. Next up on our list, turning 63 years old today, he gained prominence for his roles in the 1989 film Sex, Lies, and Videotape. His roles in Pretty in Pink, Crash, Stargate, and Lincoln earned him additional fame. He also portrayed Alan Shore on Boston Legal, and in 2013 he began playing Raymond Reddington on the series The Blacklist. Great show if you've got a lot of time to catch up. But we're talking about James Spader celebrating his 63rd birthday. Wonderful actor. Very good in that role on The Blacklist. And Boston Legal. 2 shows to catch up on. All right. And lastly on our celebrity birthday list, turning 51 years old today, former child actress who's appeared in several television shows and movies, including Saving Grace, Doogie Howser, and The Karate Kid. Her sister is fellow actress Blake Lively, who's turning 51. We're talking about Robin Lively. Robin Lively turning 51 years old today. Bet you didn't know that Blake Lively was her sister, little baby sister. There you have it. Happy birthday to all of our celebrities. Hope that you enjoy your special day. And as promised, I have a little on this day history for you. It was on this day, back in 1964, if you can remember back that far, Pan Am Yankee Clipper Flight 101 from London Heathrow landed in New York's Kennedy Airport, and on board were four of the most prolific figures in modern music to this day. Of course, today, back in 1964, Beatlemania arrived in the United States. It was the first visit to the United States by the Beatles, British rock and roll quartet, of course, that had just scored its first #1 U.S. hit 6 days before with I Want to Hold Your Hand. At Kennedy, the Fab Four, dressed in mod suits and sporting their trademark pudding bowl haircuts, were greeted by 3,000 screaming fans and caused a near riot when the boys stepped off of their plane and onto American soil for the first time. And, of course, the rest is history. 1964. Those boys changed the face of music for a very long time. Still inspiring people to this day. Love it. All right, that's it. That's the On This Day history. It's time to give you some shameless plugs. We're going to get you on for the rest of your Tuesday. I do want to mention, first and foremost, there's going to be some great additions to this morning show. I've got some great ideas going. We're getting some more people involved. Very exciting stuff and more cool content and interesting topics for you to take in during your morning routine. So within the next couple of months, we'll be implementing some of those things. So I can't get into too many details now until it's all locked in. But as much as I love just hanging out here by myself, doing nothing, I'm excited to bring in some other perspectives and some other very interesting people to share with all of you. So stay tuned for more info on that as it emerges. But very exciting stuff coming to the Jams and Coffee family to share with all of you. Very, very cool. In addition to the Jams and Coffee morning show, which you can catch weekdays at 8 a.m. Right here, wherever you're watching it now, we have the Jams and Cocktails live podcast, our talk radio show that happens Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. We get the whole JNC crew in here with Jordan Taylor, Ellie, and Derek. And we talk about great topics. We do fun challenges, and we have wonderful guests on, including this week's Bethany Lynn, which I mentioned earlier. She's here from Nashville. We're going to get some updates on her time in Nashville. I'll tell you where she's playing around the Treasure Coast while she's in town, so you can go and see her. And probably put her through the ringer on a few things. Maybe we'll get her to strap on the shock collar again for shock collar trivia. That was a good time last time we all got together. So check that out. That's tomorrow night, 8 p.m. Eastern. Right here, wherever you're watching this show, is where it's going to pop up. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel to watch the craziness, or tune into Shore Life Radio or JNC Radio to listen to the show as well. Speaking of Shore Life Radio, check out Shore Life Radio, shoreliferadio.com, a wonderful radio station for trop rock fans and fans of great singer-songwriter music in general, and great live content. There's many live shows in addition to this one and the Jams and Cocktails show. So check it out, shoreliferadio.com, and see all the things that Shore Life has to offer. Be sure to check out our friend Paul at the Drums and Rums podcast, dropping episodes on Tuesdays, and his happy hour live stream on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Big shout out to our sponsors and partners at Code Rum, Hop Life Brewing, Sneaky Tiki in downtown Stewart, the Bug Juice bug repellent and skincare products. It's actually a great product. Good friends make it, and I use it religiously. It's all natural, so it doesn't stink, and it doesn't feel weird. It's a wonderful product. Check it out. The Bug Juice. Check out our friend Phillips Custom Design Shop, Cheshire Custom Designs, laser etching and engraving, bradbrockdesign.com. If you need any graphic work done or audio work or video work, I'm pretty proficient at it. And if I can't do it, I can put you in touch with somebody that can. But let's get that project started. bradbrockdesign.com. Shoot me a message, and we'll get it done for you. And if you've ever thought about living aboard a sailboat, you've got to read my friends Brett and Kim's blog at learntoliveaboard.com. They've been living on their boat for 15 years plus. Their beautiful 44-foot sloop. So check out the good, bad, and the ugly about living aboard a boat. learntoliveaboard.com. And big one this weekend is Arts Fest in downtown Stuart. It's going on this Saturday and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we will be on hand. The JNC Destruction Crew is going to be on hand as the official entertainment host. We'll be introducing all of the entertainment on stage and hanging out with all of you guys. We'll have koozies and stickers and all kinds of fun stuff. Find us hanging around and come and say hi. We would love to meet you in real life. As I said before, it's nice to get out of the studio and into the real world and get to hang out with you guys. And it's a great place to do it. $5 to get in. And kids 18 and under get in free. So come and hang out with us this weekend at Arts Fest. My one-man band show will be featured there, opening up the whole festival, 10:15 a.m. on Saturday. So you early birdies, come out there and hang out with me for some music, and then we'll hang out all day and have a good time. All right, check it out. Another great event coming up in March, the 2023 Music on the Bay event, going on March 1st to the 5th. In Tampa at Whiskey Joe's. We've assembled some of the best trop rock musicians on the planet to perform on 2 outdoor stages right on the water. That kicks off at 2 p.m. on March 1st. You can find out more info on that at shoreliferadio.com. I am off tonight. I have no shows tonight, so I'm going to be kind of, moonlighting around today, seeing what's going on out there in the world. But you can find out all of my show dates at bradbrock.com. See where I'm playing. And if you dig all the things that we're doing, go to our Patreon page and consider becoming a patron. It's $5 a month, behind-the-scenes footage, exclusive content, and you're helping us keep the lights on in the joint, which is always helpful as well. You can find out everything that I just talked about. You can find links to all of it at jncpodcast.com. And it's a great site. It's centrally, you can't find a more concise area to find everything about what we're doing. jncpodcast.com. Check it out. Find out all the stuff that we've got going on. Otherwise, my time here is done, I believe. And it's been a great time hanging out with you guys this morning. Thanks for listening. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. for another round of Jams and Coffee in the morning. Until then, take care of yourselves. And be kind to one another out there. Broadcasting live from the legendary JNC Lounge, I'm Brad Brock. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye now.
Tune in again tomorrow morning for the latest local buzz, national headlines, music news, and more on JNC in the Morning, right here on Facebook and YouTube.